have attention in the barn. The classes there are several scratches in the classes. If you are entered in the showmanship, steer showmanship, please make your way to the makeup area immediately. Class 1, Division 1 is in the ring.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk while y'all are still operating over there, okay? Hi, first off, I want to commend all three of these young people for coming back out here and showing and showmanship. You know, oftentimes after the fact, you're probably maybe some of y'all are ready to call it a day, and I appreciate the pride that each one of these three kiddos have. I personally think that all three of these kids are exceptional showmen, and I hate to beat any of them. I got to be honest with you; it's going to kind of break my heart a little bit because I really like all three of these kids. And I want to brag on them just a little bit, and then I'll tell you how I like them. Corbin up here, you probably have had the toughest teammate. This calf has wanting to be a little bit strong-headed in terms of doing his own thing, but I'm going to tell you what you're good at. I like how you just bring him into being set. You don't poke the legs a whole lot. I really like that type of showmanship. And so, when you got a calf that is not holding still like him, the fact that you are willing to just try your best to get out in front of him, throw his head up, and then just stick him and not ask for perfection and poking legs, I think goes a long ways to trying to maintain him. Because if you were poking legs, it'd make it twice as worse. And so I really appreciate that, Corbin. Miss Sadie Joe right here in the middle, she's doing a wonderful job. I really like her when we got the cattle out, and this calf doesn't always lead the best, but she gets out in front of that calf, and I like where she positions herself as the leader of her animal, and just does a really nice job. She's got a good demeanor about her and goes about her business, I think, at just the right amount of tempo. Sadie Joe, your calf here has gotten a little out of sorts towards the end in terms of standing a little bit cockeyed. If I had any advice for you, I would say maybe don't poke his back legs quite as much. He just gets where he's just a little bit annoyed, I feel like, and doesn't push his weight. He's the hardest calf of the three to set up. and I know there's been a time or two where you've been a little challenged to get like his front leg closest to you pulled in there. It's not so much because you're doing it wrong. It's just because the calf's made a little bit wider up front, so he's not exactly maybe the best showmanship calf in the world. The calf then that Owen's got has got a good amount of balance, and so he's a nice showmanship calf. When he holds steals, all three of these calves are over it. But this young man right here, even when this calf throws his head around, he's probably strong enough to try to will him into being shown, right? And I really like how Owen gets out in front of his Angus steer, and I like how he as well, just like Corbin up front, he does a good job most of the time of bringing him in the right angle, the right position, and he kind of, as he just did there, the only leg that he has to move is that front one, and then he pushes that head where he needs it most of the time when that calf will finally cooperate well enough to put it in the right spot. And so, Owen, I like the what you demand on the end of the halter of your Angus steer. Okay, look, I don't want to beat any one of y'all, but Owen, I think collectively you're probably the one that needs to win today. Congratulations to this young man. I'm going to follow with just my preference of not over sticking him too much on those back legs. Corbin's going to be my reserve champion. Miss Sadie Joe, you did great. I'll be honest with you, and I want you to hear me on this. I literally had you as the champion all the way to third, and that's how tight it was, just depending upon how we maintained the cattle till the end. So congratulations. Let's put our hands together. Congratulate these three kids and let them know you're proud of them.
This is last call for Division II Market Showmanship. Your class is preparing to go in the ring. Class 2, if you're in that class, in that division, please make your way to the makeup area and to the ring immediately. Winning Division I is Owen Adams from Jessamine County. Second in Division I is Corbin Seaver from Pendleton County. And third with Sadie Joe Brown from Breckenridge County. Congratulations to the exhibitors. Please make your way in. Class 2, Division II, Market Showmanship. Your class is going in the ring.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and talk y'all. Both of y'all are very good. I know we don't have anybody else to compare y'all against, but if we did, I think y'all would still rise to the top as being our two best showmen. This is, what I like about both of y'all is where you position your body. I like the fact you don't go too fast. you don't get the calf worked up, and both these cattle respond well to you. Amelia, you probably do the best job of just getting them set up square on the rear view, and then as we come to the profile, and you did the same thing earlier in your class and then division, just get them being pulled right into being set where you don't have to really touch any legs and instantly get the head up and get the attention and proud look that I'm after. Cameron, your calf, you do a good job up there on the front end in terms of the neck and the head. He's a little harder to get his pole up, right, and his nose down. And so he's maybe a little tougher in that sense, but just maybe got to square him up just a little better right up front. And so I'm going to use Amelia for my champion, and Cameron, you're going to be reserved, but both y'all are very deserving. Congratulations to y'all.
This will be last call for Division 3, Market Showmanship. Last call. Winning Division 2 is Miss Amelia Gripsover from Logan County, and second is Cameron Fuller from Clark County. Congratulations to the Division 2 winners. This last call for Division 3. Division 3 Market Showmanship is going in the ring. If you're in the sound of my voice, you can still make your class. Division 4 Showmanship. Division 4 Showmanship entries, please make your way to Broadbent. If you finish first or second in your division classes, please be aware that we will be selecting an overall showman, and you will be able to come back in to compete for the overall. First or seconds in any of the divisions.
All right, I'm going to talk and play simultaneously, okay? And I had to circle y'all another half lap simply because if any of y'all have been paying attention, these 6 students are near impossible to separate. All 6 of them are the right speed. Y'all did a really nice job of not having to overstick them over here and do your best to pull them into being set. And so I just need a little more time to digest exactly what needed to happen here. And highly subjective, as you know. This group is very, very good. I guess in 6, young lady, I'm going to have to put you 6, but you're doing awesome. And I just love your smoothness. You tend to maybe stand right in behind her just a little bit more. And so maybe I would just bring yourself out, both leading and standing, give her a little bit more slack. You do a good job, though, setting her up. Like every time you just nailed it. And so I thought that's been really good. You can just stay right there. It's all good. As we work through and think about the next position. Everybody's been doing really, really good, and so it's been a tough sort. The young lady right here, I'm going to have you in the next slot in 5. You're doing great. You maybe as well get a little close and in behind your calf, just in terms of what I like. But I think you're very good in terms of just proudness of front end and attention on not oversticking, just getting things as balanced as possible. Maybe a time or two where maybe we could have put that front leg a little bit closer in to his body as I saw it. The young man down here will be next in line. Let me tell you what, I actually considered you as high as being the champion showman. And the reason is because I love how you get out in front. I love the slack that you've got. Your heifer travels more naturally because of that factor. And she does a good job of setting her neck on her top of her shoulder and still having her nose down. I think personally, this is just my opinion, but I was wondering if you were going to gather her just a little bit more. I know she gets a little soft in her top, so consequently, you may have to you have to avoid overstretching, right? Her back leg for me, when we set them up over there and then over here, just gets a little bit too far back. I think you're going to have to, that particular heifer, reset her a time or two in terms of moving forward just to regather that top line. So it's a little bit just situational on that particular animal. So as we move to the rest, this young lady right here is going to be third for me. You do wonderful. It's really hard to pick a big hole in you. Whenever we walk to the front, this calf maybe leans a little bit and shifts. Maybe you have to be a little more cognizant about trying to redistribute his weight. Maybe cut the ring just a little bit here on us in that last slap, but it's all good. You're doing a great job. So I guess it came down to me between Oliver back here and then, I'm not going to remember your name. It's not Hudson. It's Mason. It is Hudson. I was right. I should have gone with my first instinct. Hudson, you're doing great. Both of y'all, just instantly get their front ends up. I would say Oliver probably does a good job of continuously nudging it up. Hudson, you tend to be maybe a half a step further out in front of him, where there's times where his pole's a little down and his nose is a little up. Both of y'all, I like what y'all do in terms of movement of feet with the halter as opposed to the stick, and y'all both have cattle that cooperate fairly well. Today, for me, Oliver's going to be my champion, and Hudson's going to be my reserve. Let's give everybody a big round of applause on an excellent job out here.
Division 4 market showmanship. You're going into the ring now. If you're here in the makeup area, make your way to the ring. Results of Division 3 market showmanship. First was Oliver Gripsover from Logan County. Second was Hudson Beckett from Bracken County. Third, Harper Beckett from Bracken County. Fourth, Briar Osborne from Greenup County. Fifth, Addison McClone from East Carter. And sixth, Kennedy McBurney from Henry County. Congratulations to the participants in Division 3. Division 4 is in the ring now at this time. We'd ask all first and seconds please remain in the arena so that we can pick overall champion.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and talk through this. Hey, all of y'all have done great. One more time, I want to applaud y'all for coming out here and after the show and laying down the line and competing. That's what we want to see. The main thing that we're after here today is character building, and all 7 of y'all are building that character by demonstrating the fact that you're determined to do your very best, both with your calf and showmanship, and y'all are going to be successful. Sweetie, you're doing a good job. There's times where maybe you got a little far forward when we were over here on that rail, just in terms of everybody lining up. And then the young lady here at the blue heifer done an awesome job. Both y'all maybe walk a little bit beside them when we're walking. You might get out in front of them just a little bit more. Just creates a bit more look for your particular cattle. Dear, you're an awesome showman. We just came into the class just a little bit tardy, and so I really hate that. But you really get out and get in front of your cattle well. You set them nicely. I love your speed and your tempo. As we look at the 4 people out here, the young man in the back, I've enjoyed his intensity today. You're a very intense young man. I can tell you have a strong passion for what you're doing. You do a good job of getting that heifer positioned in an arrogant manner in her front third. If I had to say anything, I would say you've maybe positioned yourself a little more in the background of the lineup, okay? And so you got to, I think you naturally tell kids, hey, cheat out just a little bit, and then it can get to the point where that's annoying and it's too much, and I beat you for that reason. But you can also get a bit blended into the background, and so you've got to find that compromise in terms of the real estate. Caroline here does a marvelous job, real smooth. What I like about you is you don't draw attention to yourself. You just draw attention to your calf because you're really slow-paced, really smooth. You just get the calf set up instantly. This calf is a good showmanship calf because his structure's so good. He kind of naturally stands square and correct. You do a really good job. Young lady here with the stocking-legged heifer, I probably like her as well as anybody just in terms of her body language and her tempo and intensity. She's very slow at the same time, and she demands and asks a lot of this effort. Of course, now she's going to, poop and look like a rainbow. But prior to this, she's really been doing a good job. I guess what I was trying to describe, I like the fact that you've got enough intensity about you. You're communicating through your body language like, this means a lot. I really think I'm good at what I do, and I'm here to win, and I'm here to take care of business. But yet you're slow enough and chill enough where your calf has been a good customer up until now. The yellow calf here, and I'm going to forget the young lady's name. I apologize, but you have a real presence about you. I really like just when we got him out, you were the one that really got out in front of your calf from a leadership standpoint of being in front of that calf, and then just instantly came in the ring first, and as well the same body language that I talked about this young lady behind you having. I thought you carry yourself so very well. You'll be very successful at whatever you do. There was maybe a time or two here, dear, where that calf would had its front legs set a little underneath them, or maybe we had to, reposition those back legs. I'm not a big fan of poking back legs. Just this is my own preference. But you did a nice job. Maybe just a time or two, we got to get that calf set just a little bit better. So as I sit here and I guess analyze what needs to happen, my champion showman is going to be the young lady right here. Caroline, you're going to be my reserve champion showman. Young lady in the front is going to be my third, and then the gentleman right here will be my fourth. So let's give them all a big round of applause. I thought they did a wonderful job.
Next coming in will be our champion market showmanship, Class placings in Division 4. First was Callie DeRosset from Henry County. Second, Carolyn Maines from Pendleton County. Third, Taylor Moore from Pulaski County. Fourth, Tyler Young from Breckenridge. Fifth, Macy Shelton from Bourbon. And sixth, Addie Mae Williams from Hardin County. We now have the overall showmanship class in the ring. We would announce that there will be a 30-minute break, before the heifer showmanship begins. So that'll make us start at approximately 3:30. By the time we finish up here, it'll be approximately 3:30 start time on the heifer showmanship.
All right, I think we're just picking one from what they told me, and they can correct me if I'm wrong. But again, my strongest congratulations to all of y'all in here. I think as we come back in and we get the cattle set, I can see the commonalities, at least through my eyes, in all four of y'all here that stand in the front. Just your ability to try to walk them into being set, not having to stick legs, and instantly trying to get their front one-third together. And so really just personal preference in terms of more my decision as I watched y'all in y'all's particular divisions on trying to separate y'all for overall showman. I'd be tickled with any of y'all. Really, you could throw a dart in any one of the four of y'all. You'd say, well, that's your champion showman. I'm probably cool with that. But I really like the job that Callie did back here. We're going to use a young lady coming out of our last division to be our champion showman. All right. Bo lied to me. I'm calling you out, Bo. I'm just joking. I think we got to pick a reserve as well. And so, Oliver, you were the next person that I was blown away with today. You did a great job, bud. They told me you also won pig showmanship. Is that correct? That's pretty cool. Congratulations on a great day. Good job. Good job. Owen, good job, buddy.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in our showmanship steer division here today. Uh, Callie DeRosset from Henry County was your champion. Oliver Gripsover from Logan County was reserve. Again, thanks for all of your participation. And as before we leave here, let's give our judge a round of applause for helping us here today. Give our judge a round of applause. Have your attention in the barn. Heifer Showmanship. Heifer Showmanship will start at 3:30. 3:30. Youngest to oldest at 3:30.
Attention in the beef barn, 5 minute warning for divisions 1 and 2, heifer showmanship. 5 minute warning, divisions 1 and 2, heifer showmanship.
Well, good afternoon, heifer showmanship exhibitors. When you come up the ramp into Broadbent, the ring on your left will be the odd ring. That will be Division 1 and Division 3. The ring on your right will be the even. That'll be Division 2 and Division 4. We have some heats within those divisions, so we'll work through those and in a snappy way and get this deal over with so you won't have a long evening. Give us just a moment and we'll be ready to roll.
Hello. All right, we're ready to begin. I need Division 1, Heat A, to be ready in the ring, and Division 2, Heat A, in the right ring.
This right here. Let's get ready to bring those classes in. Division 1 will be on your left as you come into the arena. Division 2 will be on your right. Today, we're very fortunate to have a couple of judges here to judge the heifer showmanship. On your odd numbered ring, Division 1 and 3, Mr. Randy Daniels from Colbert, Georgia. Randy had his family operate a Restored Angus operation there, family ranch. His judging experience includes junior nationals of almost all the breeds, and he does it because of love of junior shows. Over on the even ring, we have Mr. Jake Bloomberg from Berwick, Illinois. Currently, he owns 150 head Simmental cow operation with his wife Hannah and son Rogue, heavily influenced to make high-quality show heifers and seed stock. We look forward to listening to the answers and the work that they do today. Bring those first classes in, please. Addie McBurney. Addie McBurney, you'll need to be in the even side on your right as you come up the entrance into Broadbent. Your class is ready to go in the ring. Addie McBurney.
I was asking when we bring these heats in. It's kind of hard to visit with these young people and critique them when we got to come back in the overall mix. But for me, as we start trying to decide who gets to come back, I think we placed 10 overall. We're going to have to roll through it. I think what's really important to me is, first of all, this is kind of a team sport, and I want to see how you and your heifer work together. Uh, I know you guys are 10. You're way better than I was when I was 10, but some of these cattle you probably spent a little more time with them. Some of them want to be a little more cooperative today. I think all of you did a really nice job, but the three that we pulled out on this side, the young lady right here, her heifer wanted to give her a hard time down here when we put her right in the gate. We're just kind of asking for that, but we're having trouble in the lineup behind her, and I think when she got things right, she got it really, really right. So congratulations to you guys, and we'll see you three back in the final drive. Let's give them all a great big round of applause, if you would.
Over in Division One, A heat, Division One A heat. Briley Senegar, Owen Gripsover, and Tillman DeRosset will be coming back in. Over in Division Two, Heat A, Brooklyn Thomas, Sadie Jackson, and Andrew Ray. That'll be your competitors out of the first class, the A class, that'll be come back in. Heat B is in the ring. Heat B is in the ring on Division One, and Heat C will be coming in on Division Two.
we're going to change things up just a bit. They said they want us to place these as we bring them into to these heats, and then just decide after that which ones come back for the grand finale. So in here, uh, I'm going to line these up just like this, 1 through 5. And I think we're going to bring the top 2 back in here for that overall championship. You know, for you those that are down on this end, you know, the young lady with the Shorthorn Plus heifer, that heifer kind of got her down, and she kept her chin up. She never whimpered. She just stayed with it. These two, you know, at times they were just dead on, and at times we struggled just a little bit. But 99% of the time, when a judge places you, he's going to place you on that profile. So it's really important to me that I watch you and you're comfortable enough with that heifer, and she's comfortable enough with you that you can lead her into place, and you'll never set her up where she has that real natural look to her without really walking them into place. When you stop and then start trying to reposition those back feet, it never works very well, and you can't capture that look. So in this heat, we're going to keep the 2 young men up here. These young ladies did a really nice job. Let's give them a nice round of applause, and we'll see you 2 back in a minute. This is a real competitive heat on this side. You know, when you do this, you never know. You know, you keep 2 or 3 out of the first heat, and they say we need a minimum of 10 overall, and then we'll run into a heat like this where, man, we could go four or five deep here, and I'd feel really comfortable about it. You know, I think when you try to draw that line, and for me, that's the ones that can kind of get it done. They can get it done in a pretty quick fashion, but they can do it without ever look like they get in a hurry. And a good showman's one that really makes it look easy, whether it is or not. And I think we've got several of those that are just pretty natural in the way that they handle this. I'm going to keep these three up front, and we'll bring them back in a minute. And that's certainly not to discredit the ones just behind. I think sometimes your partner's got to be an equal participant in this, and these three that we've got up front, they'll certainly be a threat when we bring them back in the grand finale. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Nice group.
Over in Division Two show ring, your champion in reserve out of Division Two would be champion is Sadie Jackson from Paris, Bourbon County, and your reserve is Abby Scruggs from Auburn in Logan County. So congratulations to our winner in Division Two. Division 4. Division 4. Heat B is in the ring. Division 4, Heat B. And over in Division 1 and Division 1, Heat D is in the ring. Heat D.
another really, really competitive heat. I'm going to end up with more out here in the end than would have been ideal for me, but I think it's hard to draw that line. We get into this group, kind of like we had in the last group, a lot of the very best, to me, the best 10 or 11-year-old showmen that we've had fall into one heat. That's kind of the way it is when you show these cattle. Sometimes you could be fifth in this class and easily win the next one, and it maybe just be a few days that break that. But I think in here, these top four certainly deserve to come back, so we're going to use them again. The young lady that's going to be right behind them, I have to draw a line somewhere. I think she's still done a nice job too. Doesn't have her set up too well right now, but obviously that one's had some work at home. We get below that. Sometimes I think kind of my pet peeve in showmanship is when you start to circle and one circles and the next one circles. A lot of times we don't have to do that. These things they have a reverse. You might push them a step or two and pull them back in or work your way back in. But when that starts, then it just kind of turns into mass confusion. So let's try to just work with them. If we have to do that, you kind of use it as a last resort. So the top four will come back. Nice job. Let's give them a nice round of applause, if you would.
Congratulations on the Division 4 side, your champion being Ashland Pop, and your reserve, Grayson Ruber. Ashland resides in Versailles, Woodford County, and Grayson in Georgetown, and attends Great Crossing.
You know, these are just 10, 11-year-olds on this side of the ring. I don't know exactly how we divide up heats because we'd have 4 in one class, we might have 10 in the next. So you really don't know where you are far as trying to meet your minimum. We just ended up with a couple of extra ones, but I think if you made your way back in here, irregardless of where you placed, it's already quite an accomplishment just to get a chance to come back and compete here in the end. You know, for me, the things that are appealing to me, and I said it earlier, and I think these first two that we've got in this lineup really do things right. Uh, First of all, they're comfortable with their cattle, and the cattle are comfortable with them. But they kind of they got a real awareness as far as ring presence and where they need to be. They anticipate where they're going to stop. They lead those cattle into place, and they get that. You just get the right look. And I think those two did it exceptionally well. I'm going to leave them placed just like we've got them. That's the way we pulled them. And then we get down into the young man with the Gelby cow. Nice cow, good structured. One of those are a little easier to show. I thought about switching him and the young man just behind. He gets a little off on the rear feet, and the next one we get a little off up front. Young lady next in line has that one just about as right as you can get her right now. I think for me, though, rather than critique every one of them in here, I encourage you to come back and watch some of these young people that have had a few more years' experience, and I think there's more to gain from that than probably Jake and I trying to tell you what we like. But let's give this group a great big round of applause. Congratulations to you guys up here on this end. This is a good group.
Congratulations in the Division 1, your champion going to Luke Keith of Camelsville, Taylor County, and your reserve to Bella Synegard from Mount Sterling, Montgomery County.
You can tell especially on the front end in this particular heat, that these young people have probably been in the ring a few more times. It's fun to watch them when you think, man, you've picked up more, and you just keep stepping up the game. I'm gonna keep these first three. We have to have 10 after these three heats. I'm gonna keep these three that we've got up front and roll the dice that we're gonna pick up an extra one in the next two heats. I think all three of those young people, and you're not placed. You're placed for this go round, but you're certainly not placed in the overall. This just means you made the cut. But we do have to place them all the way down. I encourage you three down here. I think you probably have more ability than the cattle we're going to let you show. Once again, I would caution you when you start to circle, and you don't really have to, that you're going to lose your position and things just get all out of whack. So anyway, congratulations to you guys, especially the three that we're going to see back again in a minute. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Good group. Kind of put myself in a corner a while ago when we got to get to 10, and I cut it off at 3 in that first group. But, these three young ladies were going to make it. They were going to make it back if we'd have had 10 in this particular group. So thank you. You're going to save me if the next group will just kind of hang in there. I got to place them. I've got to place them so that we can turn it in. But that's only in this heat. When we come back in the grand finale, we'll do it all over again. I think these first two young ladies are both excellent, and you do a really, really good job. When you get this black heifer set up like she is now, we'd probably switch these two because you got her more nearly right than the one that we have just in front of her. But the young lady with the Hereford heifer, I think has just kind of been on target since she came in here. So we'll place them like this for now, and we'll wish you luck when you come back in the grand finale. Congratulations. just a heat. And all four of you are going to come back in the grand finale here in just a second, but we had to have a placing to turn them in heat. The young lady with the shorthorn heifer right there, I can watch her, and she's got all the tools. Except right now, the most important tool she's got doesn't want to participate. So if she goes out and has a talk with her, and she kind of gets her head screwed on straight, she may come back and win in the overall in just a second. And just hate that when this happens. But thank you guys, you saved my life, because I was down to where I had to have all four of you to make our minimum of 10, and feel real comfortable with that. So congratulations to you, and we'll see you back here in just a second.
if you had a first or second in one of the divisions earlier, let's get up close to the gate so we'll be ready to enter. This is the last division to be placed before we go to the overall champion.
You know what? This is impressive. In this group, I again, I thought I'd kind of got myself in a pinch, and then we just didn't have any of you that didn't need to come back. So you saved me. I think when you get right down to splitting hairs and deciding what you're going to do in this grand finale, uh, this young lady that's up here in front, first of all, she's got a nice heifer. Makes it easier when you've got one that structurally they're just put together right. And then you get a young person on that halter, and they know that if they lead them into position, they get them right. Well, they'll stop, and that hind foot will be offset, and their shoulders better, the way their neck comes out of the top of their shoulders better. If you can pretty much walk them into it, she does a good job with that. Probably the guy that's best at that is the young man that stands second. He just never misses a beat. Every time I look, he just got her nailed. That heifer doesn't have that presence that we have in the first one that lets him show that he knows how that heifer looks best. This one just has that head up and her ears are forward most of the time. It's just all part of it. You make that selection right from this angle, and that gets really, really important. But that young man that's going to stand second, I just like his style. He's very slow. He's deliberate. His mannerisms. He doesn't give you a clue what he's going to do, but he just never misses a beat. And I think he just nailed it time after time. That's the closest placing in the class for me. I like the kind of showman this young lady is that's got this Hereford heifer. She's kind of a deadhead, so you've got to work to get her all pulled together. But you lead her into place, you and the young lady with the red heifer just behind both of you. I was really impressed. She just kept doing things right over and over and over again, and I think that's what it's all about. You never let me see your heifer when she's not at her best, whether that be when you lead her, when you pull her into place, or when you say I'm through, and you telegraph to me that I think I'm there. Then I expect it to be there. And you guys really, really did that. We get on down into the class. So many you guys did a good job or you wouldn't be back out here. The young lady with the short horn down here, I know that young lady's probably won more than her share showmanship contest because she's just got it. She just knows what it takes to get it done. Unfortunately, that heifer didn't agree with that today and didn't give her a chance to compete, but that's part of it. But let's give these a great big round of applause. This was a very competitive, good class of showmanship. Congrats.
He's over there practicing. He's over there practicing pitches with the pitcher back there. Uh-oh. You do a good job, but you guys make a nice team. Hey, Jake, I said, why do you... Division 3, first in that division was Emily Jeffries from Camner, and second in that division was Oliver Gripsover from Auburn, Logan County. Next in will be the final drive on the heifer showmanship. In our final showmanship drive here in the heifer division today, representing Division 1 is Luke Keith from Camelsville. Division 2, Sadie Jackson from Paris. Division 3, Emily Jeffries from Camner. And Division 4, Ashlyn Pop from Versailles. While our judges, Mr. Jake Bloomberg and Mr. Randy Daniels, make their final decisions here, let's give them a round of applause for evaluating our showmanship today.
This was fun. You know, I don't know. I guess when you had kids that were really involved in this, and you try to teach them just how important this part of the game is. I don't care if you've got the best one by a mile. If you can't get this part done, you can't win. You agree with that, Jake? I mean, you just have to get it done. And I think we agree that you know, these four that are out here, starting with the 10-year-old we got up front. You know, that heifer's getting a little tired and she's getting a little soft topped and she's not getting her head up like she did earlier. But man, for your age, you're just deadly. But all of you are. This has been fun. Jake and I agree. I think the young lady with a pink shirt on right here, just when she gets it done, when she gets finished, and the finished product, I think she's probably more nearly right. And we agreed, just like this, we agreed on that. So she's going to be your overall champion showman. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to the overall heifer showmanship winner today, Miss Emily Jeffries from Camner, Kentucky, Hart County. Congratulations. Congratulations, Dad.
8 o'clock in the morning here.